Mariam if we might have a moment of ask us all for a moment of quiet. So the bad thing about the pandemic is that we're all at home. But for those of us who have a good internet connection, there's also a good side, which is that we can connect with each other all over the world. So our Susila Dharma network passport.
Yeah, sorry. Can we tell everybody about the translation first?
Yeah, we're going to start with some housekeeping. Solon is my co-pilot on this journey. So Solon, do you want to explain about how the translation works?
Yeah, I'll explain in English, then Spanish, then French. So we have, it's very simple. We have interpretation, simultaneous interpretation from English to French and from English to Spanish. So you'll see at the bottom that there is an interpretation globe at the bottom, along with where it says participants, chat, etc. And you can click on that globe and you have channels. If you want French translation, you click French. And if you want Spanish, you click Spanish. Then you'll be able to hear the voice of the translator in your language. You can also, I think, mute, you'll have the option to mute original audio if that is too loud, if it's louder than the translated voice. Entonces, en español.
Sí.
En español, entonces tenemos canales de interpretación, entonces si no has entendido nada de lo que acabamos de decir, necesitas interpretación español, hay que mirar bajo de la pantalla de Zoom, hay un globo que dice interpretación, se hace clic en el globo y luego escoges español y así vas a entender la voz de la persona que interpreta. Hablando español, si el audio original es demasiado fuerte y no entiendes el español, puedes hacer clic en apagar el audio original. No sé cómo se dice, qué dice en español, pero es algo así. Entonces ahora en français. Donc bonjour tout le monde. Si vous avez besoin, si vous n'avez rien compris de l'anglais, de tout ce qu'on vient de dire, il y a de l'interprétation en français sur cet appel. Donc pour accéder à l'interprétation, il faut aller en bas de l'écran. Il y a plusieurs icônes, dont interprétation, c'est un globe avec interprétation. On clique dessus et on choisit français. Et là, vous entendrez la voix de l'interprète qui vous parlera en français. Et si c'est trop fort l'audio original, il y a une option pour l'éteindre. Voilà, donc j'espère que c'est clair pour tout le monde. Et maintenant, on va continuer en anglais à Hamida.
Thank you.
Est-ce que tout le monde peut mettre leur micro éteindre leur micro? Yes. Si todos pueden apagar su micro, así solamente vamos a entender la persona que presenta.
Anisa, ¿entendiste para la traducción? Sí. No. Tú estás mutada. Okay. So thank you very much then for joining us. And we're going to continue in English and with translation for those who need it. I want to really welcome you on board this SD Network passport flight. Today we're going to the Democratic Republic of Congo to learn about a journey that we have taken over time. It's the record or a little story about a 10-year journey that we have taken with our brothers and sisters in the Congo. Salut, Diantesa. You can see Diantesa and his team are there with us, and they're going to tell you about their lessons learned. We have also the brilliant Heinz Cadera, who is one of our prominent Subud filmmakers, who has done an amazing job in the middle of the pandemic to help us tell this story. And this story is the story of a 10-year collaboration with a foundation that discovered us on the internet called the Buchan International Fund. Tina Buchan is a Canadian philanthropist who became very interested in our model for working in the Congo, which is to work in partnership with the local health authorities and with the communities to establish a not-for-profit health network. I also want to recognize and say hello to Nadine Winkler, who is part of the team making the film, and she can share with us a little bit later. And hello, Rocío, ¿tú puedes cerrar tu micrófono, por favor?
¿Cómo están esos cachetes?
Rocío, ¿puedes cerrar tu micrófono, por favor?
Fíjate, creo que la abuela ya está sonando, mami.
Sí.
Yo creo que hay que conectarla, ¿no?
So we're going to, there, thank you, Rosia. So we're going to take you on this trip. And like I said, Solon is my co-pilot. She is an amazing co-pilot, and she's going to be facilitating the translation. So our agenda today, we don't have coffee or tea or snacks. You have to get your own. But on the other hand, we have a wonderful story to share with you. And we're going to start by watching a video that Heinz helped us make. And Diantesa, Dr. Jean, Papi Cabondo helped us tell this story. They've worked very hard for the last 10 years in the Congo, and it's a very heartwarming story. And many of you are the donors who have helped to make this happen. But in this case, we just want to be clear that we're honoring one particular donor who has been our steadfast partner and a rather large donor at that over the last 10 years. So this was really because she could not travel to the Congo. We wanted to bring the Congo to her. So we're sharing this now with you. So please put on your seatbelts. I hope it won't be a rough ride, but enjoy the show. And please keep your microphones closed until we have a question period at the end.
Allons-y pour allons-y. C'est une école, c'est une école, c'est une école de papa Poussa. C'est une école qu'on ne trouvera jamais ici au Bas-Congo à la Sainte Égalité.
This is a human story that has developed and grown over the last 10 years in the heart of Africa, in the Democratic Republic of Congo. It is the second largest country on this continent, 76.9 times larger than Belgium, its former colonizers. It is the story of how Tina Buchan, Gilles Marceau, and the Buchan International Fund, in partnership with the Susila Dharma International Network, have touched the lives of hundreds of thousands of people, providing access to sustainable, quality healthcare and transforming communities. Today, around 80 million people live here, making it the fourth most populous country in Africa. Population growth is among the highest in the world at almost 3%, with each woman giving birth to 6.3 children on average. In 2016, 41.2% of the population was under 15 years old. Such rapid population growth, coupled with widespread poverty and lack of basic services and infrastructure, means this country presents one of the most challenging development contexts in the world. Thankfully, there are people within and outside the Congo who are working to counteract this dramatic situation, bringing their skills, resources, and perseverance to providing services that bring hope to many people. Our story is about the creation of a network of health and hospital centres that were built by the people of the Congo with the help of the Susila Dharma International Network and the Buchan International Fund. We start our journey in the southern suburb of the capital, Kinshasa, in Lemba Imbu, where, despite being close to a major city, poor roads and high cost of transport made it impossible for people to get the medical attention they so badly needed.
Ici, nous sommes à Lemba Imbu précisément.
Here we are at Lemba Imbu, a rural community where people live from their agricultural activity and by raising animals for consumption, mainly chicken and pigs. The living conditions were really deplorable, so we really needed to consider what activities could help the development of the community. It was agreed that we should implant a community health centre to provide a good quality of health care to the community.
The Lemba Imbu Community Health Centre grew out of the Susila Dharma School of Lemba Imbu. The school had identified the urgent need to build a school infirmary to address the health needs of its students, but there were also needs at the level of the whole community. So we took this opportunity to pilot our model of a community health centre based on the principles of autonomy and sustainability. That is, once the basic infrastructure and equipment is put in place, we don't need to keep asking for donor support to pay the bills, to buy routine supplies. The centre carries itself.
This is the delivery room. All pregnant women deliver here. And then the mother is moved to the postpartum room, where she is under observation for 48 hours to make sure there are no complications. If there are no complications, she is moved to this recovery room. So all women who give birth without complications spend a few days in the maternity section to rest and recover.
The first Centre de Santé Communautaire was opened in Lemba Imbu in 2010. Some 5,000 patients are treated in this 32-bed facility each year, provided with pre- and antenatal services for mothers and babies, vaccination programs, minor surgeries, health education for families, and a range of preventative and curative services for the surrounding population. A key focus is also on involving the local population through the participation of elected representatives on the management team of the centre, through working with the local health committee and Ministry of Health, and through the management of their own health mutual association. Of the 15 employees, half are from the community next door, as is this young male nurse.
My name is Grace Basunga Luzolo. I am head nurse at the Lemba Imbu Community Health Center since 2019. I wake up early in the morning, I prepare my bag, I make sure I have all my documents, my mask and supplies. We are very lucky that we never lack for any supplies at our center. Many centers don't have the materials that they need. Here we receive all kinds of patients, but we are mostly focused on pediatric care. I hope we will soon be able to finish the work on our new pediatric ward.
What pushed to initiate this project? I'm a teacher and I have lived in this community for 26 years. I can say that the socio-economic problems here have various causes. In the area of education, there were very few schools. In the area of healthcare, there was nothing. No health center that could take care of the community. That is why we really wanted to see a health center develop in this community and gradually to add different services, like specialized pediatric care that were missing. Education and healthcare are the two most basic needed services on which the community can develop itself.
We leave Lemba Imbu for the rural village of Kingantoko in central Congo province, where the hospital center of Kingantoko was opened in 2013. This rural center services a large area covering some 200 square kilometers. With core salaries covered by the Ministry of Health, the center is able to keep the cost of care for the community to a minimum. Local entrepreneurs also support the operations of the center by paying for a monthly healthcare plan for their employees.
Here, there was a state-run health center that was basically falling down, and together with the community, we proposed to build a new health center together. Here, our model evolved towards working directly in partnership with the local health authorities. We provided the infrastructure and equipment for the center, but the staff was provided by the state, which means that the staff benefits from the technical supervision from both the NGO and the Ministry of Health, as well as their state salary. This lowers the cost of health service to the patient.
If this centre is here, it is because of the very high child mortality, mainly for children 0 to 5 years of age, and especially the newborns, due to the fact that there was a very bad quality of care, a lack of access for rural families, no equipment or medicines. That was why Susila Dharma came to build this jewel of a health centre that you see here today. Since Susila Dharma built this centre, the community is getting the care it needs, and health indicators are really improving.
Et ce qui est vrai, les choses se sont améliorées.
In both Lemba Imbu and Kingantoko, SDIA and SD Congo, in collaboration with the Buchan International Fund, are working on a new innovation to develop community learning centres alongside the existing healthcare centres. This will create a one-stop shop for rural women, girls, men and boys where they can access healthcare, childcare and learning services. The Community Learning Centre at Kingantoko is being set up to provide much-needed literacy and skills training to local women and youth who never went to school or were forced to abandon their studies at an early age due to poverty, teenage pregnancy or early marriage. With the skills needed to generate an income, women and girls will be better able to look after their families, bringing them closer to breaking the cycle of poverty.
The difficulty for most of us girls is that we have to stop our studies very young. We drop out of school at a very early age. Many become pregnant by a young man who is not able to take responsibility, and sometimes he too doesn't even have the means to support a family. And this makes life very difficult for the young girl herself, her child, and her parents. Building a learning center here in the village will solve a lot of problems, not only for me, but also for many other girls and women in the village who never got an education, and even the boys who have nothing else to do but run after girls. We really work to create employment and incomes for the girls like me who never got a chance to learn.
Here we are in one of the production units for interlocking bricks that Susila Dharma Congo uses to produce the bricks needed for its constructions, such as health centers and schools. The bricks you see behind me enable us to build stronger and cheaper. They require less water and less cement than other bricks, and are mixed with inorganic soil to make a cost-effective building material with locally available materials. Brickmaking, construction, and other industries, such as the maintenance and repair of solar panels, are some of the training areas that we are introducing in our community learning center here at Kingatoko to help women and girls become more financially independent in their daily lives. We are able to use our own resources, our bricks and other materials, to teach them about construction, as well as to build the learning centers themselves.
From Kingatoko, we travel to the site of our third community health center at Nkandu on the outskirts of the town of Inkisi in central Congo province. Here we meet a young man, Landry Nsuka, who dreamed of one day becoming a doctor and helping to care for his community. Now he will have a job practicing medicine and be able to realize his dream.
My name is Landry Nsuka. I am a doctor. I did my studies at the University of the Congo in central Congo. During the course of my studies, like many others, I knew a lot of financial difficulties. It was thanks to the NGO Susila Dharma that I was able to obtain my medical diploma. After I graduated, it was impossible for me to pay the accreditation with the medical order. And once again, thanks to Susila Dharma, I was able to get my registration number as a doctor.
I would also like to thank the Tina Buchan International Fund, because thanks to them, we have this wonderful health center that you can see behind me, built according to international standards.
The objective of this program to create a network of community health centers is to ensure that each center becomes sustainable and self-sufficient. This means that while we benefit from the support of the partners to build the center, we don't want this support to go on forever. So we encourage all people to join the Health Mutual Association so that the community can share the risk and benefits of health coverage and increase their purchasing power as a group to negotiate for health services they want most.
Today, thanks to the efforts of SD Congo, SDIA and the Buchan International Fund, 4 local health mutual associations have been created, each advocating and negotiating for quality health services on behalf of their 15,500 members. SDIA and SD Congo are strongly aligned with other organizations advocating that the government of the DRC introduce universal health coverage for its citizens. It is most likely to come through a cost-sharing arrangement and partnership between the government and a duly constituted and regulated network of health mutual associations.
My name is Kapesa, and I am a resident and the chairman of the Health Committee at Nkandu 3rd. I act as the bridge between the community and the community health centre. Before this centre was built here, we were experiencing indescribable difficulties. We had been ravaged by many epidemics, for example, measles and polio, which had ravaged the central Congo province. This was the first centre to have immediately detected these diseases, and this saved a lot of lives and limbs. The Nkandu 3rd Community Health Programme, with its network of health volunteers, has been raising awareness, and we quickly detected this measles epidemic in the neighborhood, and we were able to stamp it out. I insist, if you can get close, tell them we say big thanks to them.
The last leg of our journey takes us to the town of Congo. Where Susila Dharma was requested to step in and help another community in urgent need of adequate healthcare facilities. The result was the Mother-Child Hospital Centre of Congo, built with funding from the German government's BMZ, the Buchan International Fund and the Susila Dharma International Network.
Before, the community faced a lot of problems related to healthcare. We were being treated in a rundown structure that had nothing to do with any health standards. Since then, the community has seen the quality of the center built by Susila Dharma. We really took this on as our own center, and we are so happy with the services that are provided. Well, we had a challenge with the site because of the river, the Sika River. We really need to say thank you, thank you, thank you, because this little river caused a lot of problems to the community who lived on one side, but their fields were on the other. When it rained, the community could not get across. Thanks to this project, the community can easily cross and have access to the health center and their fields.
Et en ce qui concerne les femmes enceintes, il y avait des femmes
Regarding
enceintes.
pregnant women, there are many who would die trying to access care, especially those who need surgery or a caesarean section. But since this hospital is here, we have seen an important decrease in the maternity mortality rate, because here at the Mother-Child Hospital Centre, we are equipped to carry out any needed surgical intervention on site.
The Mother-Child Hospital Centre is equipped with life-saving technologies and can dramatically reduce maternal and infant mortality. This is the quality of care that would be hoped for by so many other communities in the DRC. Susila Dharma believes that working together with donors like Tina Buchan and the Buchan International Fund, we have a health and learning centre model that can be replicated and scaled up to sustainably help thousands of other communities.
Nous avons une moyenne de 50 échographies par mois. La plupart sont des échographies qui concernent.
We do an average of 50 ultrasounds a month. Most are for pregnant women. As you know, the World Health Organization recommends at least 3 ultrasounds during the pregnancy to ensure that the fetus is developing properly and is in the position prior to delivery. We also carry out abdominal and prostate ultrasounds.
Le nouveau bâtiment aussi des pédiatriques sera construit.
The hospital center is receiving so many patients, we are already in an extension phase. We are building a pediatric unit. Here is the laboratory, and there will be the blood bank. All of these facilities, the new laboratory and radiology, will allow us doctors and those of us doing medical imaging to really provide excellent diagnostic services. And for so many children dying of anemia, the blood bank will allow us to intervene early so as to save lives.
Whether at the level of the community or of health workers, we were able to train many people, and this results in a better health system for all. As local health authorities, we are really behind this NGO. We can walk together with them. All the resources that they have made available to us, we manage them as good custodians for the benefit of the population of Kwilu-Ngogo.
Pour que la population de Kwilu-Ngogo puisse en bénéficier. Ces projets, c'est comme un enfant.
This project is like a child that we conceived together, that we brought together into the world, and today we are seeing it grow to maturity, and it is growing very fast. Really, we want to thank all of those who have helped us to achieve so much. Bravo to them. Bravo to Susila Dharma. Bravo to BMZ. Bravo to the Buchan Foundation and to all the partners. Bravo.
Et bravo à tous les partenaires.
Hey, c'est vrai.
So thank you so much for going on this little journey with us. And we want to give you, our passengers, and many of you are also part of the crew. For example, Lawrence Fryer, who was part of writing the project for the BMZ project. He was leading on that. There's so many of you who have been part of this process. So we want to thank you so much. We want to hear now from the Susila Dharma Congo team a little bit, and then to hear from Heinz about the making of the film, and then we're going to open it to questions for you to ask about anything that you want to know about the project over the 10-year period. So j'aimerais, Diantessa, s'il vous plaît, si vous pouvez commencer. If Diantessa speaks in French, I will translate into English so that the translator can translate it into Spanish. Yeah? Solène, ça va comme ça?
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
So Marcus, you have nothing to do now. You can rest for a while.
Allez-y, Diantessa. We asked Diantessa to share what he felt were some of the learnings from the SD Congo team, who has done all this work very hard and learned so much over the last 10 years.
Bon, nous remercions tous les participants qui suivent pour nous, qui partagent avec nous la vision de ce film. Alors, les leçons apprises par rapport à cette expérience, c'est d'abord sur le plan interne de l'organisation de l'association elle-même. Nous avons appris qu'il était important.
Parle en petits bouts et je vais traduire pour toi, okay? Des petits bouts, okay? He says that he wants to thank all of you who are here and all who have participated in the making of the film, and that the learnings that they have made in SD Congo team are first and foremost on the internal level, on the inner level, and on the organization of their own team. Continue.
Oui, donc sur le plan interne, il fallait structurer, avoir une organisation qui puisse servir d'interface aux communautés, aux bénéficiaires et même aux partenaires. Donc pour cela, nous avons développé l'équipe, conscientisé l'équipe et fait en sorte que l'équipe soit crédible. La crédibilité est indispensable dans ce travail pour que tout le monde, tous les partenaires soient impliqués.
So he says that, he says that what was really important at the beginning was to build a credible team, a team that is credible in the eyes of the beneficiaries and also the partners. Continue, Diantesa.
Oui, bon. Oui, parce que c'est avec cela qu'on va être éligible à toutes les facilités que peuvent offrir l'administration, tant sur le plan local que sur le plan national pour la poursuite de l'action. Et il y a aussi par rapport...
that with this credibility, we can access all the facilities, all the openness of the local administration and of the administration at other levels, provincial and national levels.
Oui. Donc là, je peux déjà dire à titre d'exemple, par exemple, que nous avons bénéficié de la part du gouvernement des facilités administratives, des facilités pour faire des importations de certains articles, même si sur le plan de l'administration, il y a parfois des difficultés, mais le gouvernement a accordé, c'est par rapport à cette crédibilité-là.
With the credibility that we've received, we've been able to import, for example, have the help of the government to import things, to import health equipment and supplies that were needed. So the government has helped us in practical ways.
Et puis, il y a le professionnalisme. Et nous avons fait un effort pour que l'équipe se professionnalise de plus en plus. Parce que là où il y a des compétences sur le plan interne, nous les exploitons quand nous avons des médecins, des infirmiers. Mais là où l'équipe n'a pas les compétences, il recourt aux compétences extérieures pour que le travail soit professionnel. L'exemple est celui de la construction. Virginia, je peux terminer, tu pourras résumer. Par exemple, pour la construction, au départ, nous avons été nous-mêmes les maîtres d'œuvre et en même temps le maître de l'ouvrage. On recrute des maçons, un ingénieur qui travaille pour nous. Mais avec l'expérience, on a trouvé qu'il était important d'avoir des vrais professionnels qui font le travail à leur place et vous leur faites seulement, vous leur donnez seulement mandat de faire ce travail-là pour les constructions.
Yes, so he's saying that a very important point for the team has been to develop its professionalism. At the beginning, they tried to do everything themselves. So when it came to construction, for example, they tried to be the foreman, to buy the materials, to supervise the work, to hire the workers. That was when we had very little money and SD Congo tried to do everything themselves. Now with time, we've learned that we also need to hire professionals when we don't have the competencies within our organization. So for example, now we have a professional contractor who manages the works and handles all the construction aspects.
Oui, donc là, c'était sur le plan interne. Alors maintenant, par rapport, si nous allons sur le plan externe déjà, c'est au niveau des communautés desservies. Je crois que ce que nous avons décrit pour les compétences exigées au niveau de l'équipe a permis à ce que l'impact sur le plan extérieur puisse être mis. Des changements au niveau des communautés ciblées par nos actions. Il y a eu des changements positifs et les milieux ne sont pas les mêmes. Quand vous allez à Lembaïmbo, nous avons trouvé un milieu. C'est un milieu où les communautés sont parfois dans des situations conflictuelles. Mais l'intervention de Susila Dharma dans cette communauté a contribué quand même à approcher un peu plus et à créer un peu plus d'harmonie entre certains membres des communautés. Ça, c'est par rapport à Lembaïmbo. Si nous allons à Kingantoko, c'est pour gagner du temps, je voudrais faire des gros plans et puis vous faites des petits résumés. Ça peut être plus
Vas-y, frère.
Oui. Alors, quand nous allons à Kingantoko aussi, l'intervention était très positive parce que vous savez qu'à Kingantoko, nous avons commencé par le centre Subud de Kingantoko. Et sur ce plan strict, on nous voyait seulement des gens qui viennent pour des activités spirituelles. Ils avaient une certaine image de nous. Mais quand on est intervenu dans ce secteur social, ils ont fait le lien que Subud agit aussi en faveur de communautés et ce n'est pas des gens mystiques, mais des gens qui sont pleins dans la communauté. Et par rapport à la prise de conscience.
OK, je peux traduire, Diantessa? Ou il est parti? Oh, I think he fell away. Okay, so what he was saying was that externally, if you look outside of the organization, we could see that there was a real development or change in the communities where we were working. He gave the example of the first community, the pilot community of Lemba Imbu, where when we came there, it was a community with a lot of internal conflict. And that with time and working in a really competent way, that the harmony came back to the community and that there was less conflict. And in the case of Kingantoko, for those who don't know, the project started with the construction of a Subud center. And Subud was seen as an organization that comes there only for their own benefit. And there was a hostile relationship with the community. However, when the health center was built, people could see that actually we were working for the well-being of the surrounding community. So that was seen as a really positive thing for the people and for Subud. And where Diantessa has gone, I think that we take for granted an excellent internet connection, but in most countries, that's not a reality. So while we're waiting for Diantessa to come back and share more lessons learned, I want to invite Heinz Cadera to say a few words about the making of this film, because for us, we found it totally amazing that Heinz could do this in the context of a pandemic without actually traveling to the Congo himself, which he could not do. And also maybe to ask Nadine. Nadine's voice is the voice of the narrator. Thank you, Nadine. It's amazing job that she did. So Heinz, do you want to say a few words?
Yeah, quickly. I just want to say that this film actually came into existence because you, Virginia, you pushed me and you convinced me that this film has to be done. And then also the help of Victor Böhm. Without you two, and I think this film would never have been happen. Because I could do this film because first of all, I have been to the Congo with Erika, who is also here in the, and Erika and Faustine 10 years ago. So I know a little bit the country, and I know
people, and I know the mentality, and I know how it functions. And in Paris, I had a good friend with whom I was working, and he comes from the Congo, Rodin, who is also in the generic. And I asked him, do you know anyone in Congo who can do a film, can film? And it went through Rodin, then another guy, and then another guy, and then suddenly I found the team in Congo. And then I wrote them exactly what I needed to do the film, all the interviews, and thanks to Diane Tessa and also to Virginia and other people, we found the questions to ask. And then the other thing was rather complicated. They wanted the film by the end of November. And I think filming started the 10th of November, something like this, no, 5th, 10th of November. And then the hard drive disappeared, I think, for almost a week. And then it appeared with Victor in Munich. And so I rushed to Munich, and Victor and me, we did the editing. He was sitting always beside me, giving me photos. And then suddenly I thought, well, we have to tell the story, because I thought the story can tell itself. But then I realized, no.
Can I ask you to slow down a bit for the interpreters?
Ah, okay,
please?
I'm sorry. I didn't
you.
know.
Sorry to interrupt you, sorry.
Then the idea came during the editing that we need a commentary. Savidia, we need something to say. And this is where Virginia came in and said, okay, give me the place where I have to say something, and then I write something. And then the next question was, but who is doing the commentary? And then I thought of my sister-in-law, Nadine, and I called Nadine and said, Nadine, can I have your voice? And today you can do this all with the iPhone. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Before you need a studio, and the people who work in the studio, that took 500 euros an hour, and now you do it on your iPhone. And then I called Hermas LaSalle in Los Angeles. He had a little studio with his kids, and he gave me this voice. And then the husband of Nadine, Raymond, and then Darlene LaSalle. So a lot of LaSalles are in the film, actually. And so actually what is really nice about it, in the beginning, there was not really a plan, but during the making of, during the days of editing, the film created itself, really itself. And I mean, editing is, you just have to feel what the people have to say. So you take this interview. The interviews are very, very long. And so you have only 20 seconds. So you have from 10 minutes, you have 30 seconds. And so this is a hard work to get the right saying of the people. But I must say, the Antessa also helped a lot. The whole team in the Congo helped a lot. They organized everything when the people came, the cameraman and the drone man, everything was prepared for them. They had already the questions. The people had the questions before, and so didn't have to look for the answer. They prepared the answer, so the film did itself in the end. And then I have a very, very good old friend who I met 30 years in a bar in Paris, who is the musician, Leandro. And I asked him to do the music. I had some pieces of Leandro already, and then I told him what I'm doing, and Leandro wrote the music. So you can show the film everywhere without having any problems with the rights. And Leandro is also somebody very, very sensitive. And so I think in the end, everybody did the film. Voila.
We want to say bravo to you and the team and to Nadine, because a BBC, professional BBC journalist could not have done a better job on the narrator, as the narrator. So really a volunteer team, an amazing film. And the good news is that Tina is so thrilled by the film and so touched that she said, let's go for another 10 years of working together. So we're happy about that. And Heinz, she would also like to see about maybe putting the film in German, into a German narration with the contact to German TV. So I just want to say that. But I believe Diantessa is now back. Diantessa, tu es là?
Ok. Oui, il est là, il est là.
Il est là, merci papi. Diantessa, on a traduit la partie de l'externe à Kingantoko.
Oui, là, nous utilisons c'est le téléphone, hein, le courant nous a trahis.
Est-ce que tu peux reprendre là où tu étais? La partie externe?
Oui, donc c'est un peu par rapport à Kingantoko. Donc les gens avaient une certaine image hein, de nous, membres Subud, hein, de nous membres Subud. Mais avec ces programmes, ça a permis d'avoir une idée plus réelle et humaine, c'est que Subud et à travers Susila Dharma. Et par rapport à ça, on s'est aussi rendu compte des attentes, de la confiance et des espérances, si je peux le dire, suscitées par ces actions vis-à-vis des membres de la communauté pour ce que peut faire Susila Dharma dans le développement de cette contrée-là, compte tenu de la pauvreté qui est là-bas.
So he says that, so in Kingantoko in particular, when we opened ourselves to working with the community was able to know us differently as Subud members. And also we were able to understand the needs and the aspirations of the community that were living around the Subud Center. So we understood how to work with them and what they were wanting and needing in the context of their poverty. Continue, Diantessa.
Oui, donc c'est un peu à Kingantoko. Peut-être qu'après, nous allons revenir sur l'aspect espoir, espérance hein, par rapport à la pauvreté courante. Alors là, nous disons que chaque communauté a ses particularités. Et quand nous prenons pour la communauté de Nkando par exemple, c'était une communauté, là où nous avons implanté le centre de santé communautaire de Nkando, c'était un centre en expansion. Donc, c'était un point habité par des gens qui venaient par rapport à Kisantu, qui était un peu excentré, se sentant un peu loin des services sociaux de base. Et l'implantation de ce centre, surtout avec tous les moyens qui ont été mis en œuvre. Donc, les constructions, ils se sont sentis impliqués, intéressés directement à la construction, à la surveillance. On a donné une autre image par rapport à leur implication. Et ça nous a conforté par rapport au travail qu'il faut faire avec les partenaires locaux et avec l'État congolais. Et c'est au CESCOM de Nkando où nous avons vraiment senti l'implication de ce que travailler avec les structures existantes, avec l'appareil administratif, le pouvoir même étatique, je peux dire ainsi, comme on a toujours dit. Les gens sont là avec leur expertise, mais ils n'ont pas parfois l'occasion pour exprimer, pour faire bénéficier de leur expertise à la communauté. Et là, Susila Dharma a permis à ce que la communauté puisse bénéficier de l'expertise des agents de l'État qui sont sur place et avoir confiance à leur propre avenir par l'implication dans ce travail.
So he's saying about the community of Nkando, which was the third community on the road, that this was a community in expansion, growing. It was a semi-rural or rural area that was becoming urbanized, but without any social or health services. And what we really realized in Nkando was the power of bridging between the local administration and the local structures with the community, because even though there was expertise at the administrative level, they were not able to reach down to the community level. And we were able to be a bridge in that, facilitating the expertise coming down to the local level.
Alors, si nous allons à Kwilungongo, nous sommes à un développement aussi par rapport à cette expérience dans ce travail. Au niveau de Kwilungongo, c'est une communauté qui a été, je peux dire, abusée par des porteurs de promesses. Beaucoup de structures et d'ONG qui sont passées par là, qui ont promis monts et merveilles, avec en apparence beaucoup de moyens. Ils ont promis des centres de santé, ils ont promis des mutuelles de santé, et c'était pratiquement l'image qui était restée dans la communauté de Kwilungongo. Et quand nous sommes allés, apparemment, c'est un peu, ils étaient avec beaucoup de doutes, mais tel qu'on a travaillé, ils ont vu ce que nous nous sommes dit avant de faire le travail et ce qu'on a fait ensemble avec cette communauté, ça nous a conforté dans la foi, dans la capacité à faire ce que nous croyons. Donc, au niveau de la communauté de Kwilungongo, c'était de redonner un peu la confiance et de croire qu'il est toujours possible d'avoir de partenaires qui travaillent pour le développement dans ce champ où plusieurs intervenants peuvent venir. Et au niveau de Kwilungongo aussi, je peux dire qu'au niveau de l'intervention de l'État, nous sommes passés à un niveau un peu plus, parce que là, les administrateurs du territoire qui sont intervenus, pratiquement là, c'est toute la notabilité qui s'est impliquée. Donc là, est la base de la société, de la communauté, et je peux dire la crème était impliquée dans ce travail-là, surtout avec la présence de la compagnie sucrière.
He was talking about now the last of the sites that we visited is Kwilungongo, where we learned other things, specifically around the fact that before we arrived in Kwilungongo, there had been a lot of NGOs, a lot of large NGOs that had come there and made promises that they had never respected. They said they were going to do things, build things. And when we arrived, we faced a lot of skepticism that we were actually going to deliver. But with time, they saw that with Susila Dharma, what we said we would do is what we do. So there's coherence between the promises made and the promises kept. And that inspired a lot of confidence and respect between the partners with the community, and that eventually some high-level people became involved. We had, for example, the Minister of Health from the province who came to the opening. We had some high-level people who took notice of the work of Susila Dharma in opening that hospital center at Kwilungongo.
Oui, alors si je prends pour de manière globale, ce que nous avons appris comme expérience à travers ce travail, c'est quand nous nous sommes fixés les objectifs, quand nous avons confiance et nous nous mettons résolument au travail, avec foi et détermination, on peut arriver au résultat. Et en cela, nous profitons ici pour remercier le réseau de Susila Dharma international, parce que tout le travail depuis le début, c'est un peu c'est un peu comme si le réseau aussi était vraiment sur place ici pour évoluer. On peut prendre au niveau de l'Embaïmbu, comment Susila Dharma, Angleterre, Amérique était intervenue, et au niveau des communautés, on les savait, avec l'appui de la Fondation Bakken, parce que ce qu'il faut dire pour la Fondation Bakken, au départ, nous étions même nous-mêmes un peu hésitants avec les amis pour faire impliquer cette ONG avec des moyens un peu plus colossaux que Susila Dharma Congo n'avait l'habitude. Mais nous nous sommes engagés à le faire, et le couronnement de cela, je peux dire, c'est avec Susila Dharma Allemagne en particulier, qui implique le gouvernement allemand pour le dernier projet qu'on avait en date, qui a mobilisé un peu plus de moyens, bien sûr avec l'appui de la Fondation Bakken et tout le réseau de Susila Dharma international. Ça signifie qu'on peut aller faire plus. Je peux continuer, Virginia, parce que peut-être avec le temps.
Merci, Diantesa. He says what we have learned, just to summarize, is that when we fix our objectives and we work resolutely with confidence and determination, we can achieve incredible things. And he says that we've worked so closely with the SD network. It's been like they have been in place on site with us. And that when they were first approached about taking the funds from the Buckens, they were hesitant because the size of the funding was so much bigger than what they had managed before. But that they have, but they've seen a progression, and that the progression with SD Germany to receiving the funds from the German government, accompanied by the Buckens and the whole network, has really allowed this to develop, allowed this vision of how to give healthcare in the Congolese context to develop.
When we started in 2016, the Quilonongo clinic, it was very interesting. The first opening in April, the administrator came and said, "Oh, I'm speaking my Lingala, I think, which language it is, not French." And it says, "If you have built something, then I will speak the next time in the inauguration French." And he did it, of course, yes.
That's right. Thank you, Victor. Do we have any questions? Diantesa, on peut recevoir des questions on Heinz? We could, maybe people have things they'd like to share or say or ask.
I give a short comment to the film of Heinz. It was also this team who makes the film in Congo had a drone man. He mentioned this, and this is very important to see all the things from the sky and the buildings and to have a much better overview. This was very good. And the interviews were so great, so good. And also the translation, of course, all the speakers have given the English language to this was so good. And not to forget the music, Yamba Yamba music of Bakape, a Subud member from Kinshasa. He is a little bit ill now, but he has nice music from Bakape, and we visited him, Diantesa and me, last autumn.
That's right, Bakape.
It's really amazing to work there and with the team of SD Congo. It's so great, and so many support from SD International and from Bakken and from BMZ. They are asking a lot of questions, and Lawrence always translates them and make it in a good English version. And so it's easy to progress the project itself, because when you have a good schedule, then you can see where you are standing, and that the financial and the working together is good. And also the problems of the Sika River, which was mentioned by Roger, is one of the problems we have to solve in the near future, yes. And there it's missing $30,000, only a little bit information.
Thank you, Victor. Do we have any other questions or comments or things that people might like to share? Lucia, when were you in the Congo? Were you not there in 2005? You're mute. You're mute. No, you're mute.
Monica had her hand up.
No,
your loudspeaker is not on.
I was there in 2005 with Kumari and you. And it is so wonderful to watch. As a nurse and psychologist, I'm so
Monica, did you want to say
Pardon?
something? Monica, did you want to say something? And yeah, there's
S'il vous
something giving
plaît.
feedback on your thing. Okay.
Oh, better now?
Yeah, go ahead. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead. Thank you.
Papi, merci beaucoup. Je suis Monica, fondateur de I Protect Me au Afrique du Sud. Ma question est comment vous faire la consultation avec la communauté? Si est-ce que la communauté a besoin l'autre chose, la consultation continuellement avec la communauté? Dites-moi, s'il vous
Can
plaît.
you ask that question in English as well so that everybody can understand?
Yeah, I'd like to ask Papi if he will explain how we do continual consultation, because the communities needs change. And we also, I'd like to know how they originally consult with the community before doing something, and then to continue asking the community their feedback. Oh, I'm the founder of I Protect Me in South Africa. Thanks.
Diantessa, tu as compris la question? Comment on fait de la consultation avec la communauté de manière continue?
Oui, bon, de manière continue, nous avons au sein de notre équipe, il y a une personne qui est chargée de la participation communautaire. Cette personne-là est en contact avec pratiquement dans les communautés où nous intervenons. C'est un peu structuré. Ils ont leur comité. C'est à travers le comité de développement de santé que la communauté est représentée. Et les membres de ces comités-là sont élus par les communautés. Et en principe, souvent ils ont des réunions chaque mois et ils sont en communication avec la personne qui est chargée. Pour nous ici, c'est madame la sœur Victorine Pambou qui est en contact permanent avec les responsables des communautés des comités de chaque communauté. Donc, c'est pratiquement tout, si pas tous les, mais tout, après 3 mois relativement, ils ont des contacts physiques parce que l'Embaïmbou, c'est pas très loin d'ici, Kingantoko. En Kandu, quand il y a une préoccupation ou des échanges ou des choses à promouvoir, ils échangent avec eux. Et pour Kwilungongo, comme nous sommes encore dans le projet, en principe, tous les mois, nous avons un conseil de gestion. Et dans ce conseil de gestion, nous sommes toujours, soit nous ou bien un représentant du bureau, et toujours avec un représentant élu de la communauté. Et à part ça, ils ont des contacts aussi informels. Hein. Ils peuvent appeler des membres du communauté, de l'équipe, ont tissé aussi des liens avec différentes personnes des communautés, si bien que on a un contact, je peux dire, fluide. Hein. S'il y a des préoccupations, des problèmes, des promotions, des choses à faire ensemble, nous le faisons ensemble. Et en cela, nous actionnons aussi les acteurs étatiques de santé, les personnes que nous appelons des animateurs.
Ah. On a perdu le son, Diantessa.
Oui, bon, disons que je disais que nous avons un chargé de participation communautaire qui garde un contact étroit avec les représentants élus des différentes communautés. Ça permet de les consulter par rapport à leurs problèmes. S'ils ont aussi des préoccupations où ils pensent que nous pouvons intervenir, et nous les soumettre à la veille. Et à part ça, nous avons aussi des conseils de gestion. À Kwilungongo, c'est chaque mois. Dans les autres contrées, c'est après 3 mois où ils participent avec nous dans des conseils de gestion et on intervient. Et à travers cela, d'ailleurs, que même quand nous parlons nous avons esquissé ici le problème des centres d'apprentissage communautaire. C'est à travers ces consultations avec les communautés, par rapport aux besoins exprimés et voir les solutions possibles pour résoudre ce problème-là. Allô, Virginia?
Oui. Alors, so he says that the consultation happens very fluidly. We have an elected community health committee that is charged with supervising at the community level the operations of the center. So every month we have they have a meeting, and that the SD Congo team has regular follow-ups with the community health committee for their suggestions. They go on site also, I think he said every 3 months, because some of them are quite far and it's expensive to go, but that there's also phone calls, and there's a liaison through the community health animator, who is part of the health zone team, who also communicates regularly with the SD Congo team. And he said that it's quite a fluid communication, and that that's how we came to identify the need for the next initiative, which is the community learning centers, because we realized that the need in the community was not only for healthcare, but also for opportunities to learn technical skills, practical skills, business-oriented skills, so that people could improve their livelihoods, particularly women and girls. So he said that this initiative arose out of regular communication with the people in the communities. Any other questions that we
Oui,
might...
moi, je peux demander quelque chose?
Yes,
Comment est-ce que ils se déplacent, l'équipe de gestion, et pour prendre des visites et tout ça? Est-ce qu'il y a une possibilité d'avoir un bus ou d'acheter quelque chose pour que Susila Dharma puisse se déplacer?
Simon is asking, how do they move about? How does the team move? Is there a possibility to get a bus? Diantesa?
Oui, pour le moment, nous avons un véhicule, nous avons un Jeep. C'est une occasion aussi pour remercier le réseau national, particulièrement Susila Dharma Canada, qui a facilité à ce que nous ayons un moyen de déplacement. Mais à part ça, c'est des petites courses. Parfois, il y a aussi on peut prendre des moyens de transport en commun. Nous avons une Jeep de marque Honda qui est assez solide, robuste et confortable. Et je dois remercier, sans trop la flatter, Hamida, pour avoir doté. Je crois qu'il y a eu des anecdotes où, par rapport au volume du travail que certains partenaires trouvent que nous faisons sur le terrain, quand ils ont trouvé que vraiment on n'avait pas de moyens autonomes de déplacement, parfois ils étaient surpris de nous trouver que mais vous n'avez pas de moyens ici, mais on vous fait quand même le travail. Et merci vraiment au niveau de Susila Dharma Canada et Susila Dharma International d'avoir doté Susila Dharma Congo d'une Jeep qui joue un rôle important, qui rendit très mobile, et on peut réaliser des tas de choses en un temps record. Merci beaucoup. Nous avons un véhicule.
Simon, thank you for the question. So Diantesa is saying thank you, because at a certain point, the amount of work that SD Congo needed to do was not possible without a vehicle. And other NGOs would look at them and say, how is it that you guys are getting so much done and you don't even have a vehicle? So finally we resisted for a long time, but finally we had to get them a vehicle. We sent them a secondhand Honda Pilot. And that is a strong and a comfortable car. And thankfully, they're able to get even more done now that they have their own vehicle. For small things, he said, they take whatever local cars and buses, but for long road trips, they take the vehicle, the Jeep. Can I ask if there's any other questions or comments before we wrap up? This flight will be landing soon, so we want you to put your seatbelt back on. And we want to also remind you that this is going to be a monthly journey. We have an upcoming trip to Kalimantan, where we're going to be visiting with Borneo Football International. And we're going to go then to Colombia to visit with Mis Corazones Alegres, which is another project, a Susila Dharma project. So other way around, says Solon, first Colombia and then Borneo Football International. We'd like to hear from you what destinations you would like to go to, and to see if there's no other comments, that maybe we will have a little quiet. I don't see any hands up, so.
Que Dieu bénisse Diantesa et l'équipe.
Que Dieu bénisse l'équipe au RD Congo, et on le remercie. We thank the team, that God blesses the team in the Congo, because they work under very difficult circumstances with a lot of determination. And we'd like to ask Heinz and his team if he would be willing to do another film at some point about the community learning centers.
Ok, merci, merci. Merci au nom de toute l'équipe.
Merci à toute l'équipe.
Merci, Diantesa.
Merci, frère. So a little quiet before we go, un petit un moment de calme avant de partir.
Ok, calme. Méditation.
I'd like to also just, I see my sister Rosanna Healy sitting there, and I would like to offer my appreciation for Rosanna, all the years that you put in to pave the way for these things to take place. So shout out to you, my dear sister. I'm so glad to see you there. Love you guys. Come on our next SD Passport journey and keep in touch, okay? Keep up the good work. You're all amazing people. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bless you.
Bless you, Hamida.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Love you guys.
Bye, Virginia.
Bless you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Solon.
Pleasure.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye bye. Gracias. Ah, una en Portugal. Daniela, hacemos uno en Portugal. Let's do one in Portugal at Roda Viva.
Okay.
A
Let's
virtual
try.
visit. A virtual visit to Portugal.
Okay, maybe next time we can
Next
do it. Now we are closed.
I know, for the
since,
pandemic.
yes, since yesterday we closed the school.
Oh.
The numbers here now in Portugal are
very high.
Quite serious, very high. Today it was 279 dead. So
oh my
it's
God.
in this moment.
Okay, well,
and
let's wait.
It's not easy. Yeah, it's not
let's
easy.
Wait till Roda Viva opens its doors.
Okay.
Because that's
Let's hope that it will be soon.
It will be
maybe,
soon.
I don't know. Maybe.
It would be nice to go to Brussels as well.
Take care.
Brussels in
You
Portugal.
all.
Daniela, is there
Brussels.
anything happening at Brussels?
Yes, they are trying to put in City Hall a project that will allow to legalize the old houses and maybe put another more little wooden houses as a tourism country place. I don't know if
Okay.
I'm saying correct. Tourism, rural tourism
Rural
place,
tourism. Yeah.
and the city hall. Yes. And the city hall is quite open to allow these new little houses, and with this we can legalize the old albergaria and the Subud committee, Portugal Subud committee, are very active in this moment. There are two Subud sisters that want to live in Brussels, to go to live there for a long time. So this start moving again, and maybe we will have a new Brussels project in the old farm.
Siti Salama, maybe you want to propose a project.
Well, there is Elaine Duarte. Maria Elaine Duarte. She lives in Brussels and she has a project there, and she's our CIHA rep for Portugal.
Yay. Why don't we do a passport journey on that, guys?
Yeah, she unfortunately she's not here, but I sent her a link to come, but it'd be lovely for her. I think they also shut down because of the lockdown, but I think that would be wonderful. People could see what's happening there.
And Siti Salama, if in your SIHA network you have any health practitioners who want to volunteer on different aspects of health in the Congo, you know we love it. We have Hilma Simon here. She's our doctor of everything in the Congo, but we can also invite other health practitioners.
Yes, you know that Albertina was here. I think she's gone now.
Yeah.
But, she's our international, SIHA international. I'm zone 3.
Okay, but zone 3 is pretty close to Africa there, Siti Salama.
Yeah, zone 3 Europe. West.
Love it. Work
Yeah.
with zone 3.
Yeah. It'd be
Okay.
lovely to just send emails and stuff. You've got my
Okay.
emails now.
Well, we love you guys. Thank you, Margarita.
Thank you.
Thank you for your
You're very
translation.
welcome.
Thank you,
For your
Solen.
wonderful work.
Bless you guys.
Bless you all. Bye.
Yes.
Bye. Have a good day. Keep safe.
Virginia,
Bye bye.
Yes. Oh,
Ahí, quiero,
tell
pues,
me.
en primer lugar, agradecer la invitación a la conferencia. Fabuloso el proyecto.
Gracias a ti.
Aquí aparezco como Martín, pero yo soy Rodrigo Popó de Colombia.
Hola, Rodrigo. ¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien, entusiasmado nuevamente de hacer contacto con ustedes, de poder saludar a Rosana Gil y a Ileve Pevek.
Sí, Ilene está también. Se fue, yo creo, pero hay mucha. Sí, Rodrigo, qué bien que puedes unirte a juntarte a estas llamadas.
Sí, claro, con gusto lo he hecho. Estuve pendiente desde muy temprano tratando de resolver los problemas técnicos y pues aparece ahí como Martín 123 por cuestiones técnicas. Es el nombre de mi hijo, pero ya saben que soy Rodrigo Popo.
Pero puedes cambiar el nombre, ¿sabes cómo?
No, le voy a pedir a mi hijo que lo haga, pero ahorita no. Ahora pues.
Ok, en la lista de participantes hay una manera de cambiar nombre. Tú puedes entrar el nombre, tú puedes llamarte Bapak Sumuhari Wijoyo y todo lo que quieres. Tú puedes escribir tu nombre como tú quieres.
Ya, bueno, muchas gracias. Felicitaciones. Pues me parece un fabuloso proyecto, excelentes resultados. Me gustaría colaborar de alguna manera también porque hace algún tiempo estoy como marginado de la
¿Qué
actividad
haces,
social.
Rodrigo? ¿Qué haces?
En este momento estoy dedicado a un proyecto de vivienda, estoy tratando de iniciar una pequeña empresa de servicios, pero la actividad social, pues en este momento no la estoy desarrollando. Me gustaría en algún momento dado reanudar la cuestión. Me parece interesante poder asistir a lo de Corazones Alegres de Amanecer y ahí pues seguir en contacto con ustedes a ver qué podemos hacer.
Gracias. No, con mucho gusto. Necesitamos a muchos profesionales de involucrarse de todas maneras.
Ok.
Bienvenido.
Bueno,
Bienvenido al Red Susila Dharma.
muchas gracias. Muchas gracias.
Besos.
Bueno, lo mismo.
Cuídate.
Bueno,
Chao.
saluda a Mateo también. Chao.
Virginia?
Yes.
Virginia, hi. I've just seen Rohana's here. Rohana Fernandez from Spain. She's our CIHA rep and she's also a doctor. And Corinne Deniger, Estelle, she's a nurse from France and she's our CIHA rep from France too.
Amazing. Bienvenidos. Bienvenue. Les sœurs, les médicos, los médicos. Les médecins. Merci, Corinne. En plus, Corinne doit parler français. Si elle est française. Okay, Siti Salama, we rely on you to bring your network.
Oh, there's Rohana.
Hola, hola, Rohana.
Hola,
encantada de conocerte.
Okay, trabajamos juntos.
Estupendo, estupendo.
Gracias,
Nosotros
Rohana.
sí conoces a Olga, ¿no? Es quien lleva fija en España, ¿no?
Sí, España está muy cerca de África.
Claro, claro. Está en África. Tenemos provincias que están en África.
¿Estás en África?
No, España, parte de las provincias de España están en África. Yo nací en África y es España.
Ok, sí, claro.
Sí.
Entonces,
Sí.
trabajamos juntos, SIHA y Susila Dharma, para mejorar la salud en todo el mundo.
Estupendo.
Estupendo. Gracias. Gracias, amigos. Gracias, Margarita, para tu traducción.
Cariño.
Estupendo.
Con mucho gusto, gracias.
Sigue siempre con nosotros.
Ay, sí,
Por
un
favor,
proyecto.
hermana, necesitamos tu ayuda siempre.
Yo sé lo difícil que es encontrar traducción disponible. Y tenemos que hacer que todo llegue.
Y buena traducción de calidad.
Qué linda. Se hace lo posible. Terminé en esto por casualidad.
No, estás una profesional.
Tan linda. Muchas gracias. Creo
Besos.
que es el sentimiento interno. Besos,
Sí,
que estés
tú lo
muy bien.
tienes.
Gracias. Un abrazo.
Es el espacio para traducir, es el quietud
Ajá.
interno.
Ay, tienes razón. Bueno,
Besos,
te agradezco
hermanas.
mucho. Un beso para ti también.
Gracias
Hasta pronto.
a todos. Merci à tout le monde.
Adiós.
Au revoir. À la prochaine. Until next time.